All right, so because of the situation that most of us are probably dealing with right now of being forced of staying at home, I wanted to create a workout that was pretty practical and relatively bodyweight based, but also covered the whole spectrum of people that are trained. So from the beginners all the way to advanced. So the way that's going to work is through progressions and regressions, and I'll go through that in a little bit as far as what this workout looks like. But just to be clear, it kind of covers a wide variety of people depending on how hard or easy you make this workout. So the way this is going to work, it's going to start with a standardized dynamic warm-up. Shouldn't take anywhere longer than 5 minutes. It's just going to consist of straight leg raises, quad stretches, knee hugs, single leg deadlifts, lunges, just to kind of mobilize specifically a lot of the lower body muscles, but also to get that core temperature up and just to kind of get you moving. So that's kind of the point of the dynamic warm-up. Like I said, it shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes. Once we're done with that dynamic warm-up, we're actually going to go ahead and start with the actual workout for the day. So the way this is kind of laid out, we have two separate circuits that you see right here, okay? The first one, if you notice, it says between 3 to 4 rounds, okay? And those 3 to 4 rounds are based off of how advanced or how unadvanced you may be as far as working out. So if you're more on that advanced stage and well-trained individual, you want to shoot more towards the higher range. You want to shoot for 4 rounds. If you're a little bit newer to working out, you're probably going to want to shoot for 3 rounds. That's the way that kind of works. We have rep ranges as well, and I'll go through the exercises right now, but we have rep ranges as well. Those are going to vary as well. So similar to the sets, if you're more advanced, you want to lean more towards the higher end of the rep range. So in this case, this first exercise, 15 to 20 reps, you want to shoot for 20 reps. If you're a little bit newer to that exercise, you want to shoot more towards the lower end, so more towards the 15 end spectrum of that rep range. And that's going to go for everything that has a certain rep range. Finally, with certain exercises that require resistance, your resistance is going to be based off of how well trained you are. So that's another progression to make things harder or easier. So getting into this first set of exercises, we have goblet squats. In this case, if we don't have weights at home, we can find anything that's relatively heavy. So for example, we can get like a backpack and load it up with a bunch of stuff to make it a weighted backpack. We can get like a 24 pack of waters. Anything that you can use to add resistance, it doesn't have to be an actual physical weight, okay? But we're gonna perform goblet squats for 15 to 20 reps. If you're completely brand new to that exercise, you may even just wanna go bodyweight squats, okay? You don't need to necessarily add resistance, but the majority of us are probably gonna wanna add some resistance. So just the way that works, if you don't know what a goblet squat is, okay, I'm gonna grab my weight, or like I said, if it's a dumbbell or a backpack or anything like that, some type of resistance, you're gonna bring it up against your chest and you're gonna keep it along your chest, okay? And then you're just gonna perform a squat just staying upright, getting as low as you can, coming back up, okay? For that certain rep range. That's the way those squats are gonna look. From there, it's a circuit fashion. So we're gonna transition to 1B, which are reverse lunges. That's gonna be for between 12 to 15 reps, okay? That'll be stationary, so the way that works is my feet are together. I'm gonna go ahead and step back with one leg, step back up, and I'm gonna step back with the same leg for that certain amount of reps. Once I get my 12 to 15 reps, I'll switch legs and do the same exact thing on the other side. This is based off of body weight too. If we want to progress that, we can use the same resistance that we use for goblet squats in that same position. So if we wanted to make it harder, I'd add weights, step back with resistance now. So now I have a resistance to progressing, okay? Keep in mind that the reverse lunges are emphasizing legs as well as goblet squats, but with that reverse lunge, we're looking more towards the glutes, whereas the goblet squats, we're working a lot more quads, okay? So we're hitting both ends of our lower body, so just kind of keep that in mind. Our final exercise of this first circuit is going to be bear crawls, okay? This is more of a full body exercise where we're linking up the upper body and the lower body with the core. It requires a little bit of coordination and a lot of core stability, and it adds a little bit of a cardio component as well. So with that, hopefully you can see me from the camera. We want to start nice and low on all fours, and we're slowly going to walk forward in a controlled manner and back in a controlled manner for 40 seconds. Okay, that's the way that's gonna work. Once I'm done with that last exercise, I can rest as long as I need to, probably preferably between 90 seconds to about 3 minutes, and then you're gonna repeat that again for 3 to 4 rounds. Once you get that done, you're gonna go ahead and transition to your next circuit. The next circuit is gonna be a little more upper body based, okay? So what we have here are, to start it, are tempo push-ups or hands elevated push-ups for 6 to 10 reps. So the way this kind of works is, if we're a lot more advanced and we can do a relatively good amount of repetitions for push-ups, we're gonna add a tempo to it to really increase the difficulty. So we're gonna be really strict with a 4-second lowering. So I'm gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna get to the bottom. I'm gonna hold it for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And I'm gonna press myself back up, and I'm gonna repeat that. If we're not as advanced or not as strong with the push-up, or for example, I know a lot of females have difficulty doing push-ups, we can substitute that for a hands elevated push-up, where we're actually getting our hands elevated on some type of surface, whether it be a table or a bench or like a couch, somewhere we can actually elevate our hands and perform push-ups from there at that same tempo. So our hands would be elevated, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Okay, so it's hitting both ends of the spectrum depending on how strong or weak you may be, okay? That's the first exercise. The second exercise are isometric Y's, T's, and W's, okay? And this is gonna be used to hit more of our posterior upper body. So that's gonna be more towards our upper and middle back, our shoulder blades, and all of those scapular muscles that we can't really see in the mirror, but are all gonna be in the back. We're pretty much hitting all those with these certain movements. What we're gonna do, and you may not be able to see me if I'm on the floor, so I'm just gonna show you standing. I'm gonna pretend like I'm lying on the floor with my chest on the actual floor, okay? I'm gonna make the letter Y, so I'm gonna get my hands above my head, and I'm gonna try to actively reach up towards the ceiling, making that Y, and I'm gonna try to touch the ceiling with my thumbs for 30 seconds. Once those 30 seconds are up, I'm gonna get my hands, I'm gonna make a T, thumbs are up, and I'm gonna actively try to touch the ceiling for 30 seconds, making that letter T, and I'm gonna follow it up with the W. I'm kind of bringing my elbows in, and I'm making the letter W with my elbows and my torso. From here, thumbs are also up, and I'm actively reaching up towards that ceiling for 30 seconds. Okay, if you're doing this right, you should really start feeling your back and your shoulder blades start burning. And just keep in mind, I would be on my chest doing this. I wouldn't be standing. So I'd be right here, if you can see me, performing those movements. Yeah, that's the second exercise. The last exercise is more of a core exercise, but we're getting some upper body component with it as well. We're gonna do shoulder touch planks. So the way this kind of works is I'm gonna set up like in the top of a push-up from the floor. Okay, everybody will do this from the floor as well. I wanna get a nice wide base with my feet, okay? And I'm gonna get one hand and I'm gonna touch my opposite shoulder. I'm gonna bring it back down and I'm gonna alternate. As I'm doing this, I wanna minimize any movement in my hips. So I wanna keep them nice and stiff. I don't want them to move at all as I'm going. So the way this works, it's for 10 reps. So touching the other side is 1 rep, okay? Touch, 2 reps. That's the way 1 complete rep works. So if I'm here, I have a nice wide base, touching, 1 rep. Okay, and we're gonna repeat that for 3 to 4 rounds as well. Okay, those 3 exercises. Once we're done with that, we have aerobic work that we're going to do. So this is just more of a cardio component to this, just to get a little extra work in, to get your heart rate up, and just kind of get make sure your heart stays healthy. Pretty simple. It's just going to be jump rope intervals, 30 seconds on, so 30 seconds working, 30 seconds off. 4, there's a big range between this on how advanced or how new you are to this, or how long you want to actually be doing this. 4, 5 to 12 rounds. So it's completely up to you. If you don't have a jump rope, that's fine. I would prefer you have one. It's very cheap. It's a simple piece of equipment. It's nice because it makes aerobic work fun and it adds a little bit of coordination to it. But if you don't have a jump rope, you can just do stationary jumps for 30 seconds on or 30 seconds off if you absolutely don't have a jump rope or can't have access to one. But like I said, you kind of add in that coordination and it just makes it a little more fun to do your aerobic work. So big range right there. So if we're following this protocol and we're taking the proper amount of rest times and we're really putting our best effort to this should take us anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes to complete. And it's just a great, complete, full body workout that doesn't really require any equipment and you can do from home. So hopefully this helps, and give this a try and let me know what you think.